Alright. Recover Rumpel's journal operation is a go. Done. I sealed the envelope over the letter I had been writing since I woke up. And now to have it delivered. Karma. After I had the letter sent off with a messenger, I hope it was karma, I returned to my work for the day. It starts first with Mr. Broom, then with the serving. I look for Rumpel, knowing that it is now his time off, and I'm surprised when I see him sitting not with other women, but with Karma. The two of them are laughing together? What? I guess that advice isn't too terrible.
I give the best advice, darling. I'm a man of the heart.
Perhaps not as much as I am, but I can give you credit when it's due. What are you two talking about? Princess.
Well, hello there, Princess.
I feel like you were talking about me. Karma's mischievous smile confuses me. Even Rumpel looks surprisingly shaken. You did not answer my question.
We are talking about matters related to the heart.
Of course you are.
I took it upon myself to impart valuable advice to Rumpel.
You are giving Rumpel advice? Even though you two are always at each other's throats?
Ha! Even the bitterest enemies can become beloved friends. All it takes is a shared interest.
I have no idea what you are talking about. But before I can say anything else, I am swept up by Delora, who calls me back to work. Ooh, I wonder what advice Karma gave him. The day goes on, and soon it is almost my break. I go to the front to see if the messenger has returned yet.
Oh, Princess, there's a letter here for you.
I did not expect a response. I opened it up and stared down at the letter for a long time. Writing love letters to a secret lover, Princess? Rumpel appears behind me, his smile unusually small. He looks almost hesitant to be standing there. It is not important. I stuff the letter into my pocket and continue working. For the rest of the day, I ignore Rumpel. I do not want him asking about this letter just in case things do not go according to plan. He is obviously disheartened by my ignoring him, and his sadness only persists in making me feel guilty. This is not something he can know about. Otherwise, he will try to stop me. Nothing personal, boo. Almost everyone has gone to their rooms, including a very saddened Rumpel. I'm sorry. The only people remaining are a niece and myself. Earlier, Waltz came in insisting that he speak to Delora and Parfait, and so the three of them are all off talking in the other room. Uh-oh, things might be coming to a head again. Curiosity gets the better of me, and soon I find myself sweeping closer to the door. I edge it open quietly with my foot so that I can see what is happening inside. I didn't think he was still alive.
This is very troubling.
He must have used a glamour. But the fact that I didn't realize it was him, that I... Is that the princess I spot peeping through the door? I try to hide, but all the eyes in the room catch me before I can do so. Someone who's been using a glamour that you thought was dead. Are you talking about Mithras or Fritz? Do you eavesdrop on people often, Lucette? I had no real reason to eavesdrop on them besides my own curiosity.
It's no harm done, Delora. Lucette, are you almost done with your chores?
Ever since that conversation with Parfait and Delora, I have noticed that the words Parfait and I speak to each other are strained. Delora, however, is unchanged. I expect sarcasm from her now, but she does not deliver. She simply stands still and looks at me somberly. I am. And what are you all talking about? Hiding more things from me? We're talking about the rumors that have been going around about the palace. What have you heard? I have a right to know what is happening at the palace.
We would tell you if we knew for certain, Princess.
Waltz runs a hand through his hair. I know the timing doesn't seem right, but I really should show myself out. I have a show early morning tomorrow. He glances around at all of us. I'm going to excuse myself for the night. Good night, everyone. As he passes by me, he smiles. And to you too, Princess. Waltz, what is your story? Once again, everyone is being secretive.
Why the sour face, Princess? Are you worried about what happens to the people in the palace you cared nothing for?
Delora.
Okay, that was uncalled for. But really, though, there is something I've been meaning to tell you. Since you're here now, I may as well say it. I knew you for 1 year before I cursed you. I saw what your mother had done to you, and I knew I needed to undo the damage before your birthday.
Why is she talking about this now?
I called you cruel and wicked, when really I knew that the way you were was caused by the way your mother brought you up. And when we talked about Hilda the other day, I was unfair in what I said to you. We all have to face reality, but...
Delora pauses, looking surprisingly solemn. She continues.
I always knew you had some good in you. I saw it in you when you spoke to your dolls. You have a good heart.
Wow. Delora, you're making me all teary. Many people enjoy flattery, Princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting, but nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment.
Delora just complimented me? I think you should say thank you.
Out of all people, I did not expect Delora to compliment me, not when she makes a point of always telling me the blunt truth.
Thank you.
There is no shock on Parfait and Delora's faces when they smile at me.
I'm beginning to think you and Delora are alike. You're both stubborn and have good in you, but you hide it behind sarcasm. Hey! Lucette and I are nothing alike.
I feel lighter somehow. We're both witches. Maybe that's a witch personality thing. We're good, but we just are super sarcastic. I do not know if I have forgiven Delora just yet, but her cursing me has led me to see many things I would not have seen before. I owe her nothing, but I am still happy, even if the truth hurts. Oh, what's this? My lovely little princess is in here with you two?
Rumpel, you're early tonight.
Surprised to see me, beautiful? Rumpel's earlier anxiety is gone. He looks at me with unbridled enthusiasm. I heard the princess's thank you from a distance. The words are always most beautiful when leaving her mouth. How come you're always eavesdropping?
So you were also eavesdropping? You two are very alike.
Not at all. Rumpel leans toward me and smiles. Crystal, my dream is to one day hear those words from you too, because you say them as gentle as the wind.
If you're here to talk to Parfait about medicine, then I'm out. Lucette, you should leave too.
Well then, sleep well, beautiful maidens. Night, I guess. Can we read our letter finally? I quickly finish my chores and return to my room, where I lay on my bed contemplating tomorrow. I cannot believe Bria wrote back to me. Tomorrow I will meet with her, and hopefully she will agree to give me his journals. I hope this works. For Rumpel's sake.
Oh, Lucette.
Chapter 8. Chevalier? I think is what it said. Today I am outside by myself. I think if Parfait or Delora knew, they would do worse than scold me. I shuffle uncomfortably as I sit at the little cafe Bria told me to wait for her at. A part of me is already convinced that she will not come. When I wrote her that letter asking for Rumpel's journals and she responded so easily, I was a little suspicious, but this is really the only chance I have.
The only chance you'll have at what?
Bria appears in front of me, not looking altogether unpleased, but still not smiling. Nothing. I do not like her, but I will have to play nice if I want to get Rumpel's journals back. Thank you for meeting me out here. Bria takes a seat in front of me, her expression still flat.
You asked me in your letter why I was refusing to speak to Rumpel, and then you told me you wanted to meet with me to find out why. You want the journals too, don't you?
She reaches into a bag and pulls out a few journals that I assume are Rumpel's. Oh, nice bag. So she does have them. I know in your eyes I must seem the villain, but I'm not the only one at fault in this relationship. Years ago, when I met Rumpel, he was as he is now. Flirtatious, charming, over the top, and yet his compliments still made my heart soar. His compliments may be shallow, but Rumpel is far from it. I pined after him for years. He was learning medicine, and I was studying to take over my mother's sewing shop. In the first years that I knew him, Rumpel always complimented my work, even though it was nothing special. He insisted we do trade-offs. When we started dating, he would offer me flowers and trinkets, and in exchange I would sew him some article of clothing. I can see he's still wearing the scarf that I made him.
That scarf was from Bria?
We fell in love. Rumpel became a changed man, more serious. He became a doctor, and I opened up a shop. We were supposed to have a fairy tale ending, but...
Her expression falls again as she looks absently down at the table.
We saw in each other ideals that didn't exist. Love can be shallow, or it can be deep. I felt our love was deep, but in truth, I only ever knew the very surface of Rumpel.
The surface?
I saw his kindness, his charm, and his drive to do what was right. But then, as time went on, I also saw what that meant. The world is a place where only the strong survive. People are kind, but they will take advantage of those who are too caring.
Those sound like Mother's words. I shudder as I think about Mother's pessimism, the same kind that lies in me. It is a realistic way of looking at the world, but it is also so dismal and cloudy that it is impossible to see any light within it.
Rumpel helped a lot of people. Many of them were wonderful people, and I was always happy to see him do so much. But then, he started putting other people above himself, and because we lived together, that meant me as well. Maybe it sounds petty to you, but no woman wants to live in poverty.
I look at her skeptically. In the back of my mind, I remember the convenience of luxury, of so much money. I then recall the feeling of living poor on the streets and flinch.
We had a house and we had a reputation, but Rumpel refused money most of the time. He helped lots of poor people, but he also dried out our wallets. And whenever I brought it up to him, he would smile, as if that would just get rid of all of our problems. He made a name for himself as a doctor who helped the poor for minimum money, sometimes for free. And even when I told him we needed more money, he put other people first. He was so selfless that he became selfish.
And I told him before that he should have accepted money, that he needed it. So selfless he became selfish.
I had to go behind his back and find payment. What I was making wasn't enough. So I went to find his patients and tried to ask for payment. I became almost like a beggar. Can you imagine my humiliation?
Rumpel put his patients before Bria.
I was convinced he didn't love me, and my love dwindled for him. Our relationship became strained.
Bria goes on to explain the events that happened between her and the nobleman. He was one of Rumpel's patients, and when she went to him to ask for the money he had originally offered, the two of them became intimate. But it was short-lived, and when the nobleman left her behind, Bria had to deal with a soured reputation.
I wanted to make it up to Rumpel. I thought I could salvage this relationship, maybe even start over and teach him what was right, but that is not my place.
She gestures at me.
I share blame in all of this too, but so does Rumpel. That's why I've decided to let this all go. Whatever he does now, you'll have to deal with. Because you're his partner, right?
Bria hands me the bag of journals.
Don't look so surprised. You came here for these, not to listen to me. I thought on it last night, and I have no reason to keep them around when they'll just continue making me bitter. I'll have to rely on myself for a while, but that's fine. Sometimes it's easier to keep to yourself than to trust others.
She moves to stand up, but I surprise myself by reaching out to grab her hand.
Bria, I don't need your pity. I thought the same thing. What? I still think the same thing. It is so much easier to close the world off. It is so much easier to trust no one but yourself, but it should also be a balance. That is what Rumpel has taught me. And I want to teach him how to have balance too. You. You are falling for his kindness the same way I did. You fell in love with him, even though you told yourself he was shallow and unrealistic. My heart thumps once, loudly in my chest. Love? I can read it right off your face. I know how it feels too. But don't get wrapped up in an ideal, little girl. That is my warning. If you can help him, actually help him, then you're meant to be together. But otherwise, trusting Rumpel might only break your heart. I am not a little girl. I know how to be realistic. My words trail off as I look at her helplessly. Bria surprises me by speaking up quietly. Thank you for listening to me. She pulls her hand away and slowly smiles at me. It is the first honest smile I have seen on her face. I feel something warm at my chest, and then a bright light emanates from my necklace. Whoa, that was a second good deed. We teleported too. A good deed? For listening to Bria? Or... I glanced down at the bag of journals, then down at my necklace. Well, we're 2 for 2, you and me. I touch the pendant. The new piece brings a brief smile to my lips. All right, we're starting to get smiling Lucette again. I have 2 good deeds now. Only one more and I can break my curse. Magic? Is this another fairytale curse? Yes. Your name was Lucette, wasn't it? Rumpel talked about you fondly. I hope that the both of you break your curses. Good luck. Bria walks away, leaving me by myself in the town square. My mind swirls with everything that she just told me. I still cannot bring myself to like Bria, but I feel more closure now. But now something new plagues my mind. How could I fall in love with someone like Rumpel? Oh, no. The more I say it, the more it becomes a certainty. But rather than fill me with joy, it only makes me more confused. I cannot think about this now. I turn on my heels to head back and bump promptly into a man. You! Varg, looking dashing, where are you off to?
Ugh. Oh, sorry, madam.
He smiles at me and then keeps walking. I stare after him, feeling slightly uncomfortable. With the mask and cloak, the man reminded me of a performer. Was he the one that was watching us? I don't know. I make my way back to the march with the bag of journals, still struggling to keep my mind from wandering. Every time I think about Rumpel being so close to me, or his kindness toward me, I feel jittery inside. Despite everything that Bria said, I cannot stop these feelings. It's not an on-off switch, girl. These feelings are annoying. Yet even as I think that, I know it's not the full truth. Do I really? I hear the merchant's door opening and out steps Waltz. The minute he sees me, his eyes widen and he runs toward me.
Princess, where were you?
I was running an errand. I hold up the bag, but it does little to ease Waltz's frustration.
We were all looking for you and we got worried that the witches had found you. Rumpel already went out into town.
What? I'll go...
Please, Princess, stay inside.
His expression softens somewhat until all I can see on his face is worry.
I'll go get Rumpel.
Thanks, Waltz. My mood feels completely dashed as I enter the marchand to whispers both relieved and disappointed. Surprisingly, I get away with just a lecture from Delora and Parfait. It seems as if there is something else on their mind, something that most likely involves the rumors circulating around town. I wait downstairs for a long time for Rumpel, but neither him nor Waltz appear. Where are they? I got your last journals. I retire to my room later as I wait for news. Waltz eventually returns, saying that Rumpel is still out because he had things he wanted to do. I have no idea what that means, but it unsettles me. Should I go find him? Probably. I might regret this, but I feel like we need to go. I stand and stop for a few moments to look at the bag of journals beside my bed. And here I was looking forward to giving those journals to him. I make my way toward the door, turn the knob, and then walk outside.
Princess!
Before I can even think about saying anything, I feel his warmth envelop me and I freeze. Yay, you're here! One of his hands moves to the small of my back, where it remains as he smiles down at me. Aww.
I caught you just in time, my feisty sweet. Did you plan on escaping into the dead of night again? Have words abandoned you in wake of my dramatic appearance?
I hurriedly pry myself away with a little gasp. A few steps back, I can see him in full, and I notice the bouquet he carries.
I'm glad to see you back, Princess. I'm only sorry that I couldn't make it back here any faster. I had a few errands of my own to run in town.
Rumpel holds out the bouquet with a glittering smile.
Like buying these flowers for the girl that I really like, for instance.
I stare down at the beautiful bouquet made up of white lilies. But the appearance slowly leaves my mind as I think of what Rumpel just said. He bought them for a girl he likes, not for me. You big dum-dum! They're lilies! Ah, Lucette. Lucette, you're a big dum-dum. My heart feels as if it might be pierced through with something sharp. My breath escapes my throat, but I cannot bring myself to inhale again. Rumpel looks at me in alarm.
Lucette.
I nudge him out of the way and walk past him. Girl. I make my way to the reception area where I collapse onto one of the couches and sit, staring blankly at the walls. The feelings inside of me are too much all at once. I tell myself they do not make any sense and that the way I reacted to what Rumpel said was pitiful. And yet I cannot stop myself from feeling small. You're an idiot. I sink into the couch and close my eyes, willing away the sound of my rapidly beating heart and the tears stinging the edges of my eye. I'm not weak. I will not cry. Mother told me. But the thought of Mother makes the tears worse, and soon I am sinking even further into the couch, trying to hide my tear-stained face in my hands. Mother. Bria. They both said the same things. They both see the bad in people, and I too have seen the bad in them. When I was on the streets, no one in Angielle showed me kindness. People will never show you kindness unless there is something in it for them. They will never... I feel sudden warmth as arms wrap around me. I recognize the sensation, the warmth, the comfort. It is all so comforting, so soothing.
I must be the worst person in the world. To make such a beautiful lady cry is a sin that I must atone for.
My body stiffens, but I do not pull away. I listen to the sound of his heartbeat against my ear, and slowly but surely my crying dies away. My eyes are sore by the time I finally manage to still the tears. I feel drowsiness descend upon me like a blanket, but I will not fall asleep. Slowly I pry myself in the arms holding me. Ah! Rumpel, my heart can't handle this, okay?
Hello, my love. I messed up again, didn't I?
I do not see the bouquet in his hands, but a journal. One of the journals I brought back for him from Bria.
You're capable of a lot more good than I am, Princess. Just look at this.
He reaches out and touches my necklace. I glance down at it.
You got my journals back for me. I saw them in your room. And I feel it. That this one, the most recently dated one, is the one that I need to unlock my final memory.
I grasp the second incomplete glass slipper around my neck and breathe out softly. Then this really is from retrieving Rumpel's journals for him. I got a good deed for finally doing something good for Rumpel.
Would you allow me to read it with you?
He reaches out and gently brushes a tear from my face.
You did all of this for me, and you barely know anything about me.
That makes both of us.
If you wouldn't mind, I want to read out this entry for you.
I nod, even though I should be shaking my head. Even though I should still be hurt. I cannot stay mad at Rumpel.
On this night, I am a poor man. Everything that is precious to me has been stolen away by the witch.
Rumpel's voice catches in his throat as he stares at the words. I look over his shoulder at the journal. Witch? Was he already cursed when he wrote this?
But I have no one to blame but myself. Bria told me before that I would suffer for my selflessness, and so now I find myself here. And now, because of that same selflessness, Bria is sick and I cannot save her. There is only one thing left to do. I have wronged Bria in so many ways, and now I will give anything it takes to save her. No matter what price the witch asks, I will pay it. I only hope that Bria can forgive me before she leaves. I will write again when the witch is left. I swear that after today I will change for good. I will not ask the witch to perform any more miracles.
Rumpel's finger goes to the page where he softly touches a single word. His eyes have the glazed look in them that they had before, and I can tell his memories are snapping back together.
For tonight, good night, and may tomorrow be a better morning.
I read the last word, a name and a signature. Rumpel reads it aloud slowly. Why do you have to have such... That's your name? Dude, that's more of a mouthful than Karma's.
Chevalier Dumont.
Your name is Chevalier? He looks up at me, his eyes forlorn, and then, with sadness, he speaks. Ah! It changed!
That's right.
It is so strange. It is just a different name, and yet it seems to change him completely.
I remember everything now. I was given the Rumpelstiltskin curse because I sacrificed too much. First it was the boy, the one we saw in the market. I struck a deal with a woman to save him. A witch.
He mentioned striking a deal with a woman, but a witch?
I don't have the ability to heal. None of us do except for one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor.
Witch? Doctor?
Is something wrong?
That name just sounds familiar.
I knew it then. The Witch Doctor.
It's no wonder I recognized the name. But yes, it was her.
Oh, it's gone back to Rumpel.
She promised she could heal the boy, but for a price. I had to give her a family heirloom, my family stethoscope.
Oh, now it's back.
Next was a nobleman. I could not help him, and so he lay in his bed, dying. The witch visited again, and I gave her what she asked for.
What did you give her?
My engagement ring.
Oh, no.
Bria found out. She told me she'd never forgive me. And then she chased the nobleman to ask for the money we desperately needed, and... well, you know the rest.
He gave away things that were precious to him, all to help those people.
Then Bria got sick. I made one last deal with the witch because I was desperate to save her life. But it wasn't until after she healed Bria that she told me what she wanted.
She wanted your memories.
I don't remember what happened exactly. I think I panicked because I suddenly lost my memories. I ran out into the alleys, bumped my head on something, fell unconscious. And then I woke up here in the tavern, and I had no idea who I was or how I had gotten cursed.
Rumpel... Chevalier's expression grows more somber.
I deserved to be cursed after everything I had done. I was so selfish. An idealist, maybe, but I hurt Bria because I refused to see reality. I still deserve to be cursed, actually.
But why?
Because I am still selfish. Even having remembered everything that made me a bad person, I still desire something. Someone I shouldn't have.
My heart plummets again as he looks at me.
I still want so badly to forge a future with someone I don't deserve. Because what am I other than a poor doctor? I'm no knight in shining armor, and I'm no prince.
He puts a hand on my cheek and leans closer to me. The distance between us closes in mere seconds.
But still, I keep on dreaming. Because
His fingers gently caress my cheek, and suddenly, I know. I know what he's going to say before he even says it. Don't say it like that. Just say this. Do it. I love you.
But I'm not...
Whether you are Rumpel or Chevalier, you are the same person. You do not need to be a knight or a prince. He accepted me for who I was, and he still does. Mother told me that humans were untrustworthy, but... Chevalier smiles at me as he puts his other hand on my back and pulls me closer. The smile is so genuine and so gentle. The same smile I have grown to love. Yeah! We get the kiss early! Whoop, 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 whoop. Whatever words I had been meaning to say die in my throat as he leans forward and gently places his lips on mine. I feel more grounded than I have ever felt before, but I also feel like I'm flying. I set my hands on his chest and flex my fingers into his shirt. He runs his fingers gently down my face, then down the length of my neck. The kiss feels too short, yet I am still breathless when Chevalier pulls away from me, just enough so that I can see his eyes.
I love you, my sweet princess. For your smile, for your laugh, for the way that you look out for other people. You're bold and feisty, and you remind me of a firework. You are beautiful, inside and out.
The compliment warms my heart in a way that makes me feel like it might be melting. He reaches behind him and holds out the bouquet from earlier.
These are for you. You like lilies, don't you?
I take the bouquet from him and bring it to my nose. These have always been my favorite flower. How did you know? Chevalier grins at me, and it is so similar to his previous smiles that I know he must not have changed.
The first time I gave you that white chocolate flower, your eyes lit up.
I figured out that Chevalier was perceptive before, but the bouquet in my hands feels all the more meaningful now.
Princess, I swear that I want to try and change. For you.
You should do it for yourself, too.
Myself?
You should spoil yourself more, too. You always give to others, but don't take for yourself. Now you know what you did, and you can change things.
If Bria can, then so can I.
Bria?
I went and spoke to her when I was in town today, while I was getting the bouquet as a gift for you. We had a talk about moving on. I didn't understand it fully, and I don't think she did either, but we both agreed that we should. So I'm going to change what I can, Princess. And I promise that I'm going to help you break your curse, just as you helped me break mine.
All the good things I've done are for you.
That's true. But you've done a lot of other good things too, even if they may not be big enough to count for your 3 good deeds. It just so happens that your curse is very picky.
Good things. Even though I am still curt and say more hurtful things than not? I finger the necklace at my neck in thought. Maybe Chevalier is right. Maybe I have changed. And it is a good change. I sit close to Chevalier as the night goes on. He tells me a little bit about his past and I tell him about mine. About Mother and the palace. The night is not one for advice, just listening. And I remember what Chevalier told me once. That listening can be just as meaningful as advice. That listening to others can help you understand them. And he was right.